Hi, I'm Mike Miner. I'm the executive chef at Border Grill inside Mandalay Bay. I also sit on the Culinary Council Board for 3 Square. Now, the last time I made this video, I made you pork tenderloin, mashed potatoes, homemade applesauce, and green beans. That was everything that you got in your bag. It was either at a distribution center where you pulled up and people put things in your car and you drove away, or it was actually a bag that you got at 3 Square that had all kinds of great ingredients. Well, today we're gonna make stir-fried rice. The reason why I wanna make that stir-fried rice, because this is a great way to utilize all the leftover food. You probably have it in the refrigerator and wonder, like, what am I gonna do with a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Well, today I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. We're gonna make my very favorite stir-fried rice. So let's get started. I've got my pan preheated, nice and hot. And then I gathered everything that I could find in the refrigerator. That's the pork tenderloin that we made from the last video. I just chopped it up. I had some steak in the refrigerator that was left over. I just chopped it up a little bit. I had green peas, onions, carrots. I had a little bit of green onions. I grabbed some eggs. And then I had white rice left over. Now, you also got this in your bag as well. What I recommend, my very favorite thing, and the reason why I make this stir-fried rice is because this is kind of left over. It's been sitting in the refrigerator for a few days. It's a little bit dry, and this makes the best stir-fried rice. So, I'm so hungry. I grabbed a couple eggs. I grabbed some of my favorite spice. You're gonna need soy sauce. You're gonna need a little sesame oil. You don't need the sesame oil. I have a little bit of mirin. This is basically a white wine. It's got some alcohol in it, so we want to cook it down. I love chili spice, so I've got a little bit of this garlic chili sauce. And I'm going to finish with a little sesame seeds. The wonderful thing about this fried rice is there's no rules, you guys. You can make this whatever flavors you want. If you don't want spice, no problem. If you have a sesame allergy, leave it out. Who cares? It's okay. Whatever flavors you love is what you're gonna make your stir-fried rice. We're gonna make ours with this. So let's get started. I've got that pan nice and hot, and basically what I wanna do is get a little oil in there. That's just regular canola oil. I'm gonna take some of the sesame oil as well. Sesame oil can be very, very strong, so we're just gonna use a little bit. It's a teaspoon of sesame oil just to start cooking and getting all those great flavors of the onions and the carrots and everything together, okay? So I've got my onions. Now what I did is I just made a nice kind of medium-sized dice to these onions. I took my time and I just cut them kind of nice. And then also whatever I had left in there, there was some green onions. I used those as well. So we're gonna get our onions in here. We're gonna get our carrots because the carrots take a little bit longer to cook. And what's wonderful about this, and I recommend just like getting everything prepped up like you see me here, and you're just gonna start stir frying. I've got right here, I've got a little garlic and a little ginger. We're gonna add that to the carrots and the onions, and we're gonna let that go. So in here, what we've got is a little oil. We've got a little sesame oil. We've got our garlic, our ginger, our onions, and our carrots, and we're just gonna let this cook. We're gonna let it start sauteing up. And this smells so delicious, you guys. Really, really nice flavors. So I told you the last time, I like to bring everything together as I'm cooking so that I have everything right at my fingertips and I can use it for whatever way I want. I've got that oil in there. I think what I'd love to do right now is let's start getting some of this pork. That's that pork tenderloin we made. So delicious. I had a little bit of beef left over in the refrigerator. You don't have to have any meat in this at all if you don't want. You can really put whatever you want in it. It can be meatless, and I do love stir fry that just has a little bit of vegetables in it with no meat. But since we have this in our refrigerator, we're trying to clean that refrigerator out. We're using all of our leftovers to make this really fantastic, easy meal. I've got leftover rice. Actually, I made this rice, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make this rice in the beginning of the week, and I'll put it in the refrigerator because I know I'll have meals after I do that. And then this helps me bind whatever I have in the refrigerator to make that delicious meal. So here we have, I have 2 different meals that we're gonna make one out of tonight. All right, I've got that pork going. I've got the beef going a little bit in here. The carrots and the onions are cooking together. I've got this on about a medium heat. Now, I do have a saute pan that has kind of comes up and creates almost like a wok. You don't need a wok. You don't need a pan like I do. You can honestly cook this in a small saute pan for yourself. The trick is that you just have it kind of on a nice high heat, because when you're stir frying, you want to really cook fast. Quick, fast, super delicious. So, all right, now we've got that going in there. I'm gonna add some red bell peppers I had in the refrigerator. Again, you don't have to use them. If you don't have red bell peppers, don't worry about it at all. It's totally fine. I've got green peas here. Now, these are frozen green peas. They're very, very cheap. You can get them in the grocery store. They're a couple bucks for a bag. I love using them in everything. And they're so vibrant, you know, you just let them fall out and they're gonna be delicious. And we'll add those almost at the end of the rice. All right, so I've got a little bit of soy sauce. I wanna add just a little soy to the vegetables themselves and get that soy going into that flavor. And then we're also gonna add soy later into the rice itself. But I always season in layers. Just because you've added salt and pepper to something doesn't mean you don't have to add it again. I continually add. As I add ingredients, I add a little more salt, I add a little more pepper. Now, the soy sauce has a lot of salt in it, so you don't need to put extra salt in it. I'm just putting a little black pepper in here. Smells good, you guys. If you're cooking along with me, that is so fun. I hope it smells good for you. If not, you're gonna cook later. That's fine as well. So you can hear it kind of crackling and getting going. And I can tell right about now what I wanna do is I wanna get all my ingredients on the side here. And the reason for that is because I'm gonna crack a couple eggs in here. And really, we're gonna crack the whole entire egg. We're just gonna drop it right in. Right in the middle. So what we've done is create a little area for the egg to cook. Okay? Now that we have that, we're just gonna break the egg up a little bit. Let it fry. You guys, this is smelling so good. So what I do is I just kind of, I like to have the egg with a little bit of color on the egg itself. So I'm gonna let it cook on the inside here. Give it a second to kind of do its magic. You can see right here, it's starting to get cooked. Now you wanna cook this all the way. You don't wanna have the egg raw. You could, I mean, a lot of people will put a raw egg or a medium rare egg right over the top, or a sunny side up egg on top of their stir fry. Tonight, we're just gonna have it nice and scrambled. All right, so that is going, you guys. The egg is just about done. We're just gonna go ahead and mix this in a little. And same thing, once we mix this in, we're going to put everything around the edge. Same thing with your saute pan, bring everything to the edge. We'll add a touch more oil to the middle of the pan. This is another thing I love about this recipe, you guys. Very, very fast, easy to make. There are no rules with stir-fried rice. It's whatever you have in the refrigerator. It's whatever you wanna make, okay? So, in here, I've got my eggs, I've got my peppers, my garlic, my ginger, my carrots, onions. We had leftover pork tenderloin. I had some leftover beef. And then we're just gonna take that and start incorporating it into the rice. This smells so delicious, you guys. And you can hear the rice kind of starting to fry a little bit. And that's really what you want. You want that rice to fry. It's called fried rice, stir-fried rice. So we're gonna let that get a little bit of color on the rice itself. And what I do is I just kind of evenly put it around the saute pan and let it go. And now that I do that, while the bottom is kind of getting a little bit crispy, I'm gonna add some of those peas that we took out of the freezer. And then we're gonna add some more of that soy that we talked about, soy sauce. If you see stir-fried rice, it usually has a lot of soy in it. I'm gonna add about 2.5 to 3 teaspoons of this, maybe a little bit more. There we go, 4. Oh, you know what? Let's finish it. We're gonna add it all. Okay. I like mine a little bit spicy as well, so I'm going to add a little bit of this chili garlic sauce. This is one of my very favorite things. We're just gonna add one in our household. Well, we're gonna add 2, because in our household we like it a little bit spicy. I'm gonna add a touch of that wine. And it'll cook out too as we're cooking, because we don't have a ton of liquid in this rice, and you don't want it to be runny or liquidy. You want it to be a little bit dry. You want to be able to smell that stir fry. You want to be able to hear it cooking, and it's got to have a little bit of texture on it. And it does, you guys. You can smell this. This smells so delicious. We're getting very, very close. You see all the beautiful colors in this really coming together. And this is what, and we used all the leftovers, like we said, from the last video, the pork tenderloin that we made with the mashed potatoes, the applesauce. The pork tenderloin is actually in here. And you can see, look how delicious that is, right? Okay, so that's cooking and it's almost done. I mean, we've literally gone maybe 10, 15 minutes. I did a little bit of prep work, you guys. It took me maybe 20 minutes to get all the vegetables cut up and kind of together and organized. I went through the refrigerator. I grabbed all the leftover food, all the old produce that I needed to use. I took leftover rice that I had, and then we made this fantastic dish. I love stir fry. It's one of my very favorite things. It's very comforting to me. Plus, it makes me feel good that I used all my leftovers in the refrigerator. I challenge you guys to do the same. We're just about done here. You can smell this, you can see it, you can hear it. I hope you hear the frying of the rice itself, because you really do. You want to fry the rice a little bit and let it kind of get just dried up and a little bit crispy. Okay? All right, we're just about ready to plate this here. Here comes the fun part of this. I just grabbed a couple of bowls that I had here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off on this. And we're just gonna stir, and we're just gonna plate this up, okay? Smells so good, you guys. Stir-fried rice, using and so we're just plating this up, and this is, like I said, the funnest part of it all. We're taking our creation, we're putting it in this really cool little bowl that I have. I love stir-fry rice in a bowl because it is a little bit messy. And it's able to, you're able to grab your spoon and get everything in there. Okay, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more chili to this. Like I said before, I love the chili sambal in it. In our house, we like a little bit spicy. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna finish with this with, I like lots of green onions on mine. A little bit of cilantro. Yep, lots of green onion, lots of cilantro. It's gonna be delicious, you guys. We're just gonna throw it all on there. Make it look pretty. All right, there we go. So this is that stir fry rice I was talking to you guys about. This is all the leftovers that we got in the refrigerator. I can't wait to eat this. I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, there are no rules to making stir fry. It's whatever you have in the refrigerator. It's whatever leftover you have. It's whatever flavors you love. The only other thing I'd like to say is please be safe. Wash your hands, stay distance away from everybody, and thank you very much for watching the video. I'm Mike Miner, the executive chef at Border Grill, and also from 3 Square.